Okay, so the next topic of discussion in the series of exception is nested try. Now, nested, we all know what is the term nested, one inside the other. So we've been studying this from the days of C programming. So if we have one if inside another if, we call it as nested if. So if we have like this, if some condition, then inside that we have another if some condition. So this is called as nested if, and the inner if will close first and then the outer if will close. So this I will call as the outer if condition, and this I will call as the inner if condition. Similarly, we had with for loop. So if whenever we are doing matrices or 2D arrays, we would always do this. So if I would have a for loop for I equals to 0, I less than 3, blah blah blah, and this, and inside that I would have a for loop for j. So which for loop would close first? Tell me, I or j? Yes, j would close first and then I. So this sort of architecture we call as nested for loop. This sort of one if inside another we would call as nested if. So similarly, going by this pattern, what do you understand by this term nested try? Yeah, it's just pure common sense, pure application of common sense. One try, inside that another try. I'm writing this in capital for your understanding so that the code is legible on your small screens. So which try should close first? Inner try should close first and outer try will close them. Clear? And each try has its corresponding catch. So this will have its own catch, and this will have its own catch. Clear? Something like this. So what will I call this as the outer try, and this is the outer catch. So each try has its corresponding catch, and this will be your inner try, and this will be the inner catch, right? So what this does is this gives you double layer of security. This gives you double layer of security. We have these security doors. So I've just managed to find the image for y'all. We have these security doors installed at our main entrance of the home. So we have this wooden door, and outside of that we have this fabricated steel door. So if I have the wooden door only, that is one layer of protection, and if I install this steel door outside, it gives me two layer of security. It becomes more robust. So the advantage of exception is it makes your program more robust. One of the very important features of Java is Java program is robust. Robust means very strong. Very strong. So the program made in Java are very strong. They are very robust. So, and who helps them to make robust? Which feature of Java? So with the help of exception handling. Exception handling helps you all to achieve this feature of Java, which is robust. Okay, one more thing. Okay, so what happens in this nested try catches? I'll just give you an overview. If the exception occurs over here in the inside try, if the exception occurs over here in the inside try, this exception will be first searched and caught in the inside catch. If the inside catch doesn't catch this exception gets one more try, and we have to try and catch it in the outside exception. So if an exception occurs in the inside try block, this exception gets two attempts of catching. So first attempt will be done of catching will be done in the inside catch. So if this catch catches this exception, very good, program will continue executing smoothly. But if this catch is unable to catch it, let's say this catch was handling IO exception. This catch I had written to handle IO exception. But the exception which occurred over here was arithmetic exception. Now, can IO exception catch arithmetic exception? No. So it will look in the outside catch. Now, if the outside catch can catch arithmetic exception, program will still continue running smoothly. So the exceptions which occur in the inside try, they get 2 attempts of catching. Okay, this is similar to the IPL qualifiers. Those who are fond of watching IPL, and they should relate with this. 8 teams participate in IPL. So the top 4 teams that qualify for the next round known as the qualifiers, and the bottom 4 they are exited out of the tournament. They have to leave the tournament. So it's always safe that you come. If you are in the top 4, you progress to the next round. Now what happens with the top 4 team? So if I have the top 4 teams, if I have the top 4 teams, so Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super King, RCB, and I take any other team. If I have these 4 teams, so if first is your MI, Mumbai Indian, 2 is your Chennai Super King, 3 is your Rajasthan Royal, and 4th is your RCB. Now what happens is that rank 1 and rank 2 they play each other. Whoever wins directly goes to the final, directly goes to the winner of this match is called as qualifier 1. This match is called as qualifier 1. The winner of qualifier 1 directly goes in the final. So let's say if Mumbai Indian defeats Chennai Super King, Mumbai Indian directly goes to the final. Now Chennai Super King, they have lost, right? So now 3 and 4 will play. Whoever loses is out of the tournament, and whoever wins this. So let's say Rajasthan Royal and RCB. Rajasthan Royal wins the match. So Rajasthan Royal wins. So RCB is out. RCB is eliminated. This is called as eliminator. So RCB is eliminated. Now what happens with RR and Chennai Super King? They play qualifier 2. So now the qualifier 2, the loser of the qualifier 1 and the winner of the eliminator. So who will play this? CSK will play Rajasthan Royal. And now whoever wins will play Mumbai Indians in the final. So if CSK wins this, so whoever wins this, so if CSK wins this match, then again Mumbai Indians and CSK will play the final. So what is the advantage of coming in the first 2? All the first 4 teams qualify for the next round, but what is the advantage of coming in first 2 position? The advantage of coming in the first 2 position is you get 2 cracks at the cherry. You get 2 attempts of reaching the final. So even if you lose one match, you still have one more match and you can still qualify for the final. Whereas if you come in 3rd, 4th position, you have only one attempt. If you lose, you are out. Clear? So the first 2 teams, they get 2 attempts to reach the final. Similarly, what I was trying to show over here is whatever exception occurs in the inside try gets 2 attempts of catching. 1 attempt of catching in the inside inner catch. If the inner catch also cannot catch it, then it gets 1 more attempt of at the outside catch also. So if any of this catch can catch it, it is still handled. Clear? I have taken example over here. Let's try this. Okay. So what have I done over here is, as the code is self-explanatory, more of it. I've taken an array of size 5. So the indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what are the values at the indexes? So let's take a pen. So if this is my array of size 5, index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. Okay. So this is a of 0, this is a of 1, this is a of 2, this is a of 3, and this is a of 4, right? So an array of index size 5, array of size 5 will have indexes 0 to 4, and what are the values I have given to that? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. So this is 0, this is 10, 20, 30, and 40. Okay, the array name is A. And now I have taken two variables I and J. This we'll see later on. This is like your division, numerator and denominator. So I will store the numerator, J will store the denominator, and result will store the division of I and J. So try. So now if you see over here, this is my outside try and this is my outside catch, and this is my inside try and this is my inside catch. So I'll just show it to you in one frame. Yeah, here it goes. So if I show you the syntax of nested, so this is your nested try. So try, the outer try, which has few statements, and the black part. Now this try gets closed over here. So this catch is the outer catch, and inside this try you have this red try and catch. This is the inner try, inner catch. Okay, this is the syntax for nested try, and this is your program. So to explain this, I have written a small program. Let's go through this program, which will explain us what is nested try. So if you look at this program, if I give you in one frame, this is the outer try, and corresponding catch for this outer is your catch over here. So this is your outer catch, and once this line is successful, it will come in the catch try over here. So this is your inner try and this is your inner catch. So if an exception occurs in this try block, this exception gets two attempts of being handled, one by this catch, and if this catch also is not able to catch it, then it has a second layer of security by this catch. So this is your nested try. So the program has double layer of security. So whatever exception occurring over here in the inside try will be given two chances of being caught, one by the inside catch and one by the outside catch. Okay, so this is a same divide program, but I'm using an array in this example. So I have made an array of size 5. So array of size 5 will have how many indexes? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have given the values also. So at index 0 is 0, index 1 is 10, index 2 is 20, index 3 is 30, index 4 is 40. So these are the values. I'll run this program 4 times, and 4 times we'll see what is the expected output, so that you get to understand the concept thoroughly. I and J, I have taken I will be the index of the numerator. I means index of the numerator and J is index of the denominator, and result will store the result. Okay, now let's take enter index of numerator. So if he enters, let's say 2, so what will that 2 will go into which variable? Let me zoom this for y'all. This 2 will go in which variable? I. So what will be in I? So let's take the dry run in red color. So 2, and I will display numerator is a of I. So what is a of 2? 20. So I will display numerator is So it will display numerator is 20. Very good. Any exceptions occurred so far? No. So we'll go in the inner try, because the rule is at whatever point in the try catch the exception occurs, there and then itself the code is transferred to the corresponding catch and the remaining part of try is skipped. The remaining part of try is skipped. I'll just give you all a demo. So if your try block has let's say these many 10 lines of code and the exception occurs at line 5, there and then itself the code will be transferred to the corresponding catch and the remaining code 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines, they will be skipped. They will be skipped. They will not be executed. They will not be executed. This code will be skipped because the simple rule of exception handling is whatever line the exception occurs, directly from that line the code is transferred to the corresponding catch. The remaining lines are skipped. So we are over here. So a of I is 20. So till now everything was valid. So we go inside this, enter index for j. Say for index of j he enters 1. So what will 1 be stored in j? So j will have what value? J will have value 1, and I will say denominator is a of j. So what is a of 1? 10. So it's 10. And now what will be my result? A of I divided by a of j means what? Result will be 20 divided by 10. That is how much? 2.0, because you have taken result as float and it will display the result. So the output will be this will be your output. So it will display 2.0 and directly it will go to the finally, because finally will always be executed. So it will display thank you, visit again. So output will be 2.0 and thank you, visit again. So this will be your output in the first scenario. Clear? Very good. Now let's take the second scenario. Second scenario, if the user enter index of numerator and if he enters index as 5. If he enters index as 5, so where will I, what will be the value of I? Value of I will be 5. And now what will you display? Numerator is a of I, means a of 5. Do we have a 5 index? Do we have a 5 index? No. So which exception will be thrown? Which exception will be thrown? Array index out of bound exception, correct. So at what line did I face the exception at? Line 13. So the remaining part of this try will be skipped. So the code will not go in this try. Code will not penetrate in the inner try and directly it will go to the outer catch. What sort of exception is the outer catch catching? Array index out of bound exception. So directly what message I will get? Please check your array index. Please check your array index. So directly I will get my output will be please check your array indexes, and finally will always be executed. Thank you, visit again. So in the second dry run, this will be my output. Clear? So the inner, it will not penetrate the inner try because the exception occurred at line number 13. So directly this code will jump to its corresponding catch. The remaining part of this code will be skipped. Understood so far? Very good. Now let's take third dry run. Enter value of I, he enters 2. So what will it display? A of I will be your 20. Then if he so this is valid, no exception occurs, try. Enter index of denominator, he enters 0. What does he enter over there? 0. 0 is a valid number. Denominator is a of 0. What is denominator a of 0? A of 0 is 0. And now what are we trying to do over here? A of I divided by a of j means what am I trying? I am trying to do 20 divided by 0. What sort of exception will this throw? This will throw which exception? Will throw arithmetic exception. So this inner try is catching which exception? Is catching in arithmetic exception, and it will throw. So it is, this exception is caught by this catch only. So directly this catch will catch it and say denominator cannot be 0. Denominator cannot be 0. So what will be the output of this program? Output will be denominator cannot be 0, and it will always execute the finally. So thank you, visit again. Clear? Now coming back to the main part of the dry run 4. Okay, so let's run this 4th time. So this will explain you what nested try actually does. So let's try again. Enter index of numerator. He enters 2. What does the user enter? 2. So he enters index of numerator as 2. So what is a of I? What is a of 2? 20. So a of I is your 20. So it will display numerator is 20. Now enter index of denominator. Here if he enters 5. Here if he enters 5. Now tell me, is 5 a valid index for the array? Is 5 a valid index for this array? Is 5 a valid index? No. So when it says denominator is a of 5, what will it throw? Which exception will it throw over here? It will throw array index out of bound exception. But this try is catching which exception? This try is catching arithmetic exception. So can arithmetic exception catch array index out of bound exception? No. So this catch will not catch it. Then we will get one more attempt over here. Okay, now can this catch the exception? Yes, it can. So the exception occurred in the inner try. So the inner catch could not catch it. So one more attempt is given to the outer catch. Now can the outer catch it? Yes. So what will we get? Please check the array index. So what will we get as output? We will get as output as, please check the array index, and the finally will always be executed. So what will we get? Please check array index, and finally will always be executed. Finally will always be executed, and we will get thank you, visit again. Clear? So this will be our output in the 4th scenario. So this is what I wanted to show you all, how the nested try works. So if the exception occurred in the inner try, inner catch could not catch it, the outer catch will surely catch it. Now let's try to run it all the 4 times. The program name is nested try exception. Save, cmd, java c, nested try exception.java. Oh, 34 errors. There's been some jhol of the brackets. Let me rectify this for you all. I've sorted the errors. The error was occurring over here. So you don't have to write 5 over here. Just keep the brackets as blank. Save, cmd, java c, nested try, compile. Now let's run java nested try exception, enter. Okay, the first run, what should we enter in the first run? I as 2, j as 1. So I as 2 will display numerator is to enter 20, denominator is 10, 2.0 thank you, visit again. Output is 2.0 thank you, visit again. Beautiful. Let's run it again. Now let's enter I as 5. So as the moment you enter 5, the program will go to the exception handling part and then it will say, please check your array index, thank you, visit again. As I hit enter, it will go to, please check the array index, thank you, visit again. Let's third run 2 and 0. So if I enter 2, it will say numerator is 20. If I enter denominator as 0, so what will it say? Denominator is 0, but you cannot divide. Denominator is 0, denominator cannot be 0, thank you, visit again. Denominator is 0, denominator cannot be 0, thank you, visit again. And if I enter I as 2 and 5, I as 2 and J as 5, what should it say? Please check array index, thank you, visit again. Please check array index, thank you, visit again. Understood? So this was the topic of nested try.